everyone, it's Lydia here at Lydia's Leisurely Stitching. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025, and welcome to my 48th Flosstube video. It's getting kind of exciting, almost at 50 videos. I think I'm going to have to do something special when I reach that milestone. So thanks for coming along and spending some time with me today. If you're new, welcome. I hope you find something you enjoy seeing and find a reason to come back again. And if you're returning, welcome back. I love having you all come and spend some time with me. Leave me a comment so I know you were here and let me know what you're working on while you watch my video. So today is kind of special. I worked at least 1,000 stitches on all of my WIPS in February. I got to the end of the month and there was just one WIP that I hadn't worked on, and I was like, you know, that would be really cool to do that, work on all of my WIPs and get significant progress into all of them. So I decided to pull that one out and give it a go, and we did it. I have a finish to share with you, and then probably about 6 months worth of haul. I keep forgetting to share my haul because a lot of them are digital patterns, and so I don't have something physical to remind me to show you. So we'll go over that all at the end. So I guess we should dive right in and get into the projects, huh? So the first one I'm going to show you is the Fungi Book SAL. This is by Living on the Rainbow. And the last time I showed this to you, I only had one more page to complete, and I did that. So this is the only one that didn't get 1,000 stitches because I did 534 stitches and that finished the project. So, let's see if I can pull this one up for you. Here it is. This is the ghost fungi. And this one is poisonous, and it has a day form and a night form. In the night form, this neon green, it glows in the dark. So that's pretty cool. I was really nervous because it's Krynic, and you know, I've heard stories about how hard that is to work with. And my stitches definitely don't look very nice, so don't look too closely. But I'm happy with, you know, I stuck to it. I got it finished, even if it's not the best stitching. And so yeah, so now I've finished all 8 pages that go inside the book. So we've got the Fly Amanita, the Morel, Fungi Anatomy, Part 1, and the Ghost Fungus. And then on the other side, we've got Pixie Parasol, Fungi Anatomy Part 2, Black Trumpet, and the Inky Cap. So that's all of them. So now I just need to finish the book, which, you know, I've been saying all along how intimidated I was by these patterns, especially because there's a lot of backstitch and, you know, really tiny stitching. This is on a 32 count lambswool jobelan, and so some of the times it was difficult doing like the French knots. They would slip through the fabric, and just, you know, starting with one strand in the middle of nowhere to do the words was a little difficult, but I stuck with it and I got it done. So yeah, I was intimidated by the pages, and now I'm intimidated by finishing them. I will show you about the cover of the book. I've started working on finishing this. So the finishing instructions come in 3 parts. There's the part to finish the cover, the part to finish the individual pages, and then the part to put the pages into the book and finish it off with the embellishments. So this is the cover, and this is stitched an 18 count. And I got this fabric in the kit that you can get from Leah Ravenia on Etsy. So I've started finishing the book, but it's not completely finished yet. So like you can see, like these are still open. I need to put some cardboard in there and then sew it up. I'm not really sure because you're going to sew along here, and in the pictures you can't see the stitching. So I don't know how that works. Like, does Does it go through here, and then are you going to see it on the outside? You're not supposed to, but I'm just not sure how it's going to work. So I've been trying to work on this for like 25 minutes a day. Stitching this, you back stitch along the edge of the book to add on this green fabric, kind of like how you would finish a biscornu. And that took me probably like 3 or 4 days of my 25 minutes a day stitching on this. So it's been a lot, and I'm really not sure how it's going to turn out, but I'm trying my best. I'd much rather be stitching than finishing, but I really want this book done because it's so cool. And so once I finish this, I'm going to be so proud of myself for persevering and getting it done. So that's my finish. So then all of my other WIPs, like I said, have at least 1,000 stitches added into them. So I think this is going to be Seaside Tiny Town, and this is by Heart and Hand. I wanted to say Tiny Modernist, but it's not by Tiny Modernist. It's by Heart and Hand, and I did 1,351 stitches on this over 6 days, and here it is. So the last time I had this scene with the lighthouse and the seagulls, so I believe I added the crab and then added these 3 buildings and started on this 4th building. And this 4th building, I believe, is the halfway point of the pattern, so that's exciting. This is stitched on a mystery fabric. I think someone gave it out for free at a retreat I was at. It's got, you can see there, it's got a manufacturing defect in it, so that's why I know I didn't pay for it. I measured it, and it's like 33, 34 count. So I'm thinking it was a 32 count that someone dyed, because the stitches are tighter than a 32 count undyed would be. So I'm excited to be almost halfway on this, because there's another project I want to start, and I got some haul for that, and so I'm getting excited about a new start. But I gotta finish that one first. I like to have, so I have 3 full coverage WIPs, and then I like to have like a forest woodland themed WIP, and then a coastal beach themed WIP. So that's my beach themed WIP. And once I finish it, I can start another beach themed WIP. And I kind of broke my rule because I started the Fungi Book SAL while I had another woodland themed WIP on the go. But that's okay. That was kind of a special occasion since it was a stitch along. I got excited for it. So my other woodland themed WIP, this is Miss Forest Mushroom, and I'll put in a picture of what it'll look like when it's finished. And this is stitched on 28 count weathered stone by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. And this is what it looks like last time you saw it. Since then, I did 1,008 stitches over 3 days. And here she is. She is beautiful. So I finished off the top part of her skirt. I filled in all of the white little circles. There are a couple of spots in there that are blank for beads. And I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So all I have to do is finish the under part of her skirt. It'll be like this white ruffle and then the pink underside, and then do her legs. And then she'll be finished. I'm thinking probably about 2,000 more stitches. And so if I do 1,000 stitches a month, then this will be finished in April. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. So I'm going to the Steel City Stitchers Retreat the first weekend in April. So if you'll be there, let me know, because I would love to connect with you. And so I was thinking if I do 1,000 stitches in March, then maybe I can have this for a finish at the retreat. That would be exciting. The only thing is that I work in a hoop, and so I'm not sure how the beading is going to go, because obviously you can't typically work in a hoop when you're doing the beading. I think I could get the beading for the skirt on the hoop at one time, but then I wouldn't know how I would do the beading on the top for a little hat. So that's something I need to figure out. Do you want to know something shameful? I have a Monstrix stand from Dominic, and I do have a set of quantum bars from Dominic, but I purchased them for a full coverage project, and they're the longest ones they make, I believe. I think they're 36 inches long. So that would be a little bit overkill for this project, which is on a fat quarter. And like, doesn't even take up half. You know what? Let me look and see. It's a fat half. So I know I've got plenty of room. I've got another forest mushroom lady that I would like to do when this one is finished. So obviously I could put this on the scroll bars. The shameful thing is that I don't use my stand. It's in the back of my closet, and I haven't used it since I moved here over a year ago. It's just not comfortable to me. I can never get the angle set up right. I just prefer working in my hoop. So I have thought about buying some smaller scroll rods. But obviously I would need something that kind of has like the square ends for working on the quantum, working on the Monstrix. It has square holders. And it feels silly to me to spend a lot of money buying the scroll bars for one project. And I guess I would use it for a second project when I get a second mushroom lady. But I don't use the one I already have. So who's to say that when I get that I would use it any more than I currently use the ones that I already have. So yeah, I'm a little torn. I guess I could get a Q-snap maybe, but I'd have to make sure that she fits in the Q-snap all in one frame. Yeah. And my hoop is it's a hoop on a stand. I can show it to you. It's this. So I don't hold the hoop. I'm able to stitch two-handed with this. And so stitching with a Q-snap, I'd have to stitch one-handed, and I'm most comfortable stitching two-handed. So yeah, so I have a bit of a dilemma on how I'm going to finish this lady. But we still have, you know, like I said, probably 2,000 stitches to go before I get to that point. But if you have any ideas, let me know. I'd love to hear them, because I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. So let me get this one rolled back up, and then we can move on to my full coverage stitching. Okay, so first one I'll show you, this is Victorian Christmas Eve, and this is by the Cross Stitch Arts, and this is what it looked like last time I showed it to you. And I want to say that for most of the time that I've been working on this, I believe it's been an out of print pattern, but I was Googling around the other day, and I saw that the designers, the Cross Stitch Art, I believe they have, I think it's called Pay Hip, and so I believe that they're back and that you can buy this pattern legally now. I know there have been some knockoffs on Etsy, which, you know, obviously I would not encourage you to get, but I think that if you Google the Cross Stitch Arts and it's Deborah Lester and Sandy Littlejohn, then you can find their patterns are available again. So I think I put in a picture of what it looked like last time I showed this to you, and here it is now. So since the last time you saw this, I put in 1,523 stitches, over 3 days. And I was working over here on this side. I filled in the lady in blue and the man in black and gray, and got a little bit of a start on the lady in red. So there's the whole thing. Okay guys, sorry about that. My phone was full, so it stopped recording. I believe when it stopped, I was showing you Victorian Christmas Eve. And so, I'm sorry if I already said this, but this month I did 1,523 stitches. And this is now a total of 27,464 stitches, and is at 58.38% complete. So the last time I worked on this, I did the lady in blue and the man in gray and black, and I started on the lady in red. So next time I work on this, I'm going to finish the lady in red, and then maybe I'll start working on the ground beneath them that kind of blends in with the fabric. This fabric is 32 count pearl gray lugana, and I'm stitching this 2/2. And my goal this year is to get it to 75% complete, and to do that I need to do about 1,000 stitches a month. So this will be out for another 1,000 stitches in March. And the next one to show you is the last one I needed to work on to get 1,000 stitches on all of my WIPs, and that is Ornament Log Cabin Home. And this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Dominic Davison. And so I'll stick in a picture of where it was the last time I showed it to you. I wasn't planning on working on this one in February, but I wanted to get all of my WIPs worked on. So I pulled it out, and here it is. So in the month of February, I did 2,225 stitches. I finished the roof, and I started on the brownish orangish front of the cabin. So this now has 36,365 stitches completed, and is at 38.68% done. And my goal this year is to get this to 66% completed. And to do that, I need, well, at the beginning of the year, I needed about 29,000 stitches. So my goal was to work on this for 3 months as my focus piece, and do 10,000 stitches a month. So those months are going to be March, April, and May. So I got a little bit of a head start on my stitching for March. I love how that one is turning out. It looks so good. And then the last WIP I have to show you is my focus WIP for February. And this is Once Upon a Fairytale. This is artwork by Jenna, Della, Grottaglia, Maldonado. And it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is what it looked like last time I showed it to you. This is stitched on 28 count, easy count lugana, 1/1. I need to turn the board sideways for this one. And here it is so far. So in the month of February, I did 11,942 stitches. This is now at 49,148 stitches completed, or 10.78%. So for February, I finished the second page on the second row, and I started and almost finished the third page on the third row. The first page on the third row. It's got maybe 30 or 40 stitches left to finish it. So I'm not counting it as a page finished yet, but almost there. It's looking so good. Let's see if I can bring it in so you can see the details in the tree trunk. You can see the start of the door. If I hold it like this, you can see some of the greenery in that dark area. A lot of that is just solid 310 stitching, but some of it is, you can see, tree trunk. So there that is. So I'm really pleased with that one. No plans to bring it out in March, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get on a kick and want to do 1,000 stitches on all my WIPS again. Loving how that one's turning out. So that's all of my WIPS. So in total, I did 18,583 stitches in February, which is only about 300 less than I did in March, which is pretty significant, I would say, considering February is 3 days shorter than March, 3 days shorter than January. And I stitched every day in January. I missed one day in February. And those stitches, 15,690 of them were full coverage, 2,893 were non-full coverage. So that's all my progress. I think that's pretty significant progress for a month. So now I'm going to go into haul. And like I said, this is probably about 6 months worth of haul. A lot of these are presents I got for Christmas, which I'm very thankful to my family for giving them to me. I sent out my wish list, most of which was stitching stuff, and I was very pleased to receive some stitching stuff. So the first one I want to show you, and I'll be inserting pictures of these, is Atlantis, and this is by Owl Forest Embroidery. I've been looking at this one for a long time, and really my favorite part is that giant jellyfish. I had a full coverage piece that was like an underwater city, and so I've been wanting to stitch something along these lines of like an underwater area. So I'm really excited about that one. And then I also got from Owl Forest mushroom houses. And these are so cute, aren't they? I also got Mushroom Forest from Tiny Modernist. I like this one. This one does have some back stitching, so the regular stitching works in Pattern Keeper. I've got that loaded up. And then I'll just have to go through and see the back stitching separately. And then last one I got for Christmas is Oak Nymph by Neon Creations. And this is my first pattern from that designer, so I'm really excited to give them a try. I believe she just had a book come out called The Emerging Queendom. So she has several kind of mythological ladies out. So maybe I'll be interested in some of those once I finish Oak Nymph. And then I got 2 Hades. I might have already shared this Mini the Library. I've seen this one finished. There's a finished version of it in the Hade gallery. Usually I would shy away from a mini, but I feel like this one looked good. There's not a lot of details in the picture, so I think being a mini is fine. And then I also got Drea. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs, and I believe it's by Dragon Muse Studio. So it may be a little bit AI generated, but I think she's a very beautiful little lady. And then finally, I purchased some patterns from Sunflower Stitches. This is my first purchase from them, and I got Water's Edge, and I like this one even though it's a little bit darker. Nina from Nina Hobby Site said it's kind of like If My Lady from, did I even say what it was called? I showed you Once Upon a Fairytale. I think I showed you what that was called. So the lady from Once Upon a Fairytale, she said if she had gone through the door, this might be what it's like on the other side of the door. So I think that's great. And then they were having a promotion on Sunflower Stitches that when you bought certain patterns, you got another one for free. And that is called Moonlight Blossoms. So I wasn't really looking out for this one, but I got it for a free chart, and I'll always take a free chart. So those are all of the digital patterns I got. Now I have a little bit of physical haul to share with you. So this is Glendon Place Poltergeist Pirates. And I already had this pattern. I believe I bought it at Stitch New England 2 years ago. I love this. And so this is the one that I was saying I'd like to finish Seaside Tiny Town so I can start that one. So I went on 123 Stitch and I asked them if there was any fabric that they would recommend as a substitution, because the called for fabric is only available in a 28 count linen, and I'm not interested in stitching on linen. So this is Picture This Plus Gothic, and this was recommended to me by 123 Stitch. It's got some purple areas and some blue areas, but I think it looks great. And so in addition to that, I got some of the silk lame braids. I think there were 5 called for and 2 of them were out of stock. So I got the ones that they had in stock, and I'll get the other ones once they come back in stock. And these, you can see they're sparkly. They feel much nicer to work with than the Krynic. So I think that these will be a much better stitch. And then I also got the buttons. Starfish. Got some skulls. And these are rats. So I got all the buttons that go on that. So starting to get that project up, and maybe it'll be a new start later in the year. So that's everything I have to share with you today. Thanks for coming and spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I'd love it if you left me a comment below and let me know what you're working on while you watched. And I'll be back at the end of the month to give you another update. Bye everyone.